already. I don't know that he saw the Bath fade away, but he has given Devi the information. Devi knows there's a player around one of these corners, and they'll fight this together, but Rarga goes back. And XLG just need to buy time.
They've got plenty of positions that need to be cleared. Devi needs to win this fight. They're going to have a chance. Rarga instant on the trigger. I think that's the moment that something realizes, okay, 3 players to find. I managed to get the first, but anything more than that, and my operator is at risk. So he's going to have to fade out of the round. Another victory for XLG, and honestly, after losing a round like they just did, a very good recovery.
Well, that's it. A wise man once said, it's not about how hard you can hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep on going. And for XLG, that previous round, that was a lights out connection to the jaw, but they managed to bounce back here and now, and it's even with some of these extra plays from PRX, sneaking a player straight down through mid, man behind enemy lines, and still they deal with him every step of the way, catching that flank as well early on, and Rarga showing that he's got the brawn to deal with Devi early on.
Well, what I was going to say, that is still a bit worrying for me, that late TP. Because I don't mind the Sky Flash that cleared things out, but if Forsaken is looking the other way, that round could have gone very differently. So I think it's something to keep an eye on. XOG are gambling a little bit with some of their rotations, and this round, well, it's much more direct.
They're already taking so much space. Lamps pushed back by the nade, but they're going to stand on that corner, ready for the fight. Double swing back in, and it's Jing to take 2. XLG down by 2 men. Spike lost as well. They have got a big fight on their hands, and the Prowler actually didn't re-clear anything that isn't being held already. The flash going through. There's no one following it up. They're burning utility here on XLG. They need to start winning fights and start winning them soon. There's 3 players on this spike. How can they possibly get it back? Fighting through those numbers, and one of the players up close has a judge in hand. This looks like a death sentence if they even try it, but they've got to.
Yeah, they were dreaming of having an ultimate or 2 in this scenario, and well, Happyway does have the Viper's Pit. Could try and put it into Lamps. It would be a very bold strategy, but it would at least lower the HP of some of the others.
Nice Molotov
instead will force Forsaken forward, and he's been cleared, and there goes the Viper's Pit. They just want to try and cover these players off, and then they put the Molotov in front, so nobody could be in position. Jing, though, once again, has managed to catch another, and they have spotted that this is not being planted. They know it's going back the other way. This puts something in a position where he can catch them.
Yeah, already on the angle. It's a clean shot. Last man spotted. 12 seconds on the clock. A plant at this point seems impossible. Indeed, it will be with so many players here. Happyway has no choice but to save this weapon, and PRX will be taking a third. The gap is closing in on XLG.
It's one where I just think a lot of it comes down to Jing. Like those first opening kills, like sure there was a player with a judge in position, but it's Jing that ends up landing both of those shots. I think he also then gets the next kill that they find as well in the mix of all the madness. Yeah, that was it. It was No Man sort of running back out, and then even just Devi having that little bit of extra information. I don't mind the adaptation though. As I said, the molly into the Viper's Pit, it's not a bad idea. It's just the fact that something was still waiting on the other side. Like PRX had that contingency plan.
Yeah, I think a walkthrough from Devi as well got them early information. Wrapping around that pit, it could have ended there. Deep play from Jing.
Let's go, Jing! Let's go! Nice little
I didn't see anyone else, but he knows there's corners to hide in. Waiting for his moment in the smoke as another 2 push down. Already having cleared outside.
Jason,
to make that big.
Let's go!
Jing goes Forsaken, and out goes XLG.
What a good round.
Their lead no longer in play. It's a 4-4 scoreline between PRX and XLG. An early fight from the attackers, but now they're starting to cool down.
It hasn't yet shattered the economy. That's the one saving grace, but it's also just a matter they're losing some of these rounds. Jing is on fire. Like, you've tried to put Rarga in onto the raise, and don't get me wrong, he's not been bad.
Ooh, nice.
When Jing is currently 11-3, you put down a reveal, and he's able to get 2 kills through the smoke while spotting out those players.
Just hiding there.
It's a scary prospect. Because we already know that when this man is playing the Rays, there are few that can match. And within the first 8 rounds of the game, we're going to get our second timeout. Both coaches being incredibly proactive. But you can understand why. It's a match that PRX, obviously, they don't want to lose their opening game on their run to potentially a back-to-back trophy. And XLG know that, hey, we might be playing one of the best teams in the tournament, but you go into that lower bracket, it might not get much easier.
Exactly, and the reality is, I think this is irrespective of the position in the tournament. Just looking at the game and how we got here, it could have been a 4-1 lead with an anti-eco going their way, something XLG should have secured. And lapses in judgment, little mistakes. And that's given the breadcrumbs, the trail for PRX to fall back into this game from the coaching staff perspective. You got to get in there early, highlight those things that when you're talking about them in scrims or after scrims, you're doing your VOD reviews, you identify these problems, but putting them into action on the day, on the stage, that's a different thing entirely. And now that challenge for XLG, as you said, the economy still pretty healthy. They'll get full buys. Some regen shields have to be bought up, but for the most part, we're in a healthy spot. Ults are online for both squads, but this is a turning point. They lose this, economy in the bin, PRX on a streak.
It's going again.
And it's the same play through B. Reveal sees nothing, Flash gets nothing,
so much.
and now it's all onto the A side.
Something.
So much
I
information,
can do
They're already
something.
starting that flank seconds into
Oh, let's go! Ilya! Ilya!
that takes
Oh!
Molotov over the top as well. Something just sat at the back. He knows that he doesn't need to re-aggress from this point onwards. Viva needs to put up a play, and in fact, it's going to be Orbital Strike committed to just try and force them back. That will buy his team not only some space,
Oh
but a
my
little bit
God.
of extra time.
Let's go, this one, so much OT. Okay,
There
let's
we
go, Jing!
The showstopper activated. Jing on a tear has another
go!
with, and it's Coconut down. The player
Oh,
deep
fuck!
towards
Oh,
the
no!
bathroom is Viva, and he is out of the action, but No Man and Raga making it happen on site. Defuse tap, but Seekers see that no one's on it. Spray almost
No!
perfect. If you look how low
No,
the
man.
health bars are for XLG, but they
No,
are
no time, no
holding
time.
on tooth and nail till No Man's caught with a knife out, and now it's all under Viva. He's got to be quick.
No time,
Down to the 1v1, but
no.
time is already gone. XLG up to 5 with a Red Bull clutch.
Nice try.
It's just chaos. That round was absolute chaos. Ults being thrown in left, right, and center. Just the pace of that flank, I thought it was going to be a massive problem, but I think just spotted out by Viva, that's just filthy. Like, I don't even know how
Gila
he
ini.
didn't spot that, but it's
Aduh,
just
sayang
the reaction
cowok,
of
detailnya
someone like
banyak.
something that, yeah, just being able to deny that flank long enough, you could see the rest of the team then garner extra space. Otherwise, they were going to be stuck in that corner. And a big clutch to be won.
Good round. So many
Still, though,
ults.
economy-wise, I think XLG is still in a worse spot here. Those ultimates that they had have been expended, and the only one that wasn't expended by PRX has been now.
A Viper's Pit for early control. Be long, as we said, it's been a focus for those early fights of PRX, and we've certainly seen it with the deep dives from Jing. I think that's been more apparent. But now, the aggression's coming in elsewhere. Forsaken. Oh, he's looking the wrong way again. His timing. It's through no fault of his own. It's just being slightly off, and XLG, they find the advantage as a result. But still to deal with is something on that operator. And once they walk through that wall, big danger awaits. Jing's the one to draw first blood. And patience on something might get him a
Something
reward.
time.
Instead, he goes to the wingman.
Oh,
Delays the
hampir.
plan.
Trying to slow them a little bit. Falling for the rotation of the remaining players, but it's a little bit labored. I think the amount that XLG have been taking those TPs has started to get into the head of PRX, conditioning them to not rotate quite as quickly as maybe
Nice one,
they
Ilya,
would.
Ilya.
Something, though. Well, talking of quickly, this man is so fast.
Let's go, let's go.
Operator, and already clearing out that Lamp's position.
Both
It
ways.
leaves just two.
Let's
Maybe
go,
one
Ilya.
standing.
Ilya!
Viva left.
No!
Oh, shots though. Maybe.
No! No!
A Red Bull clutch from Viva! How has he done that?
That is going to haunt PRX for the rest of this game. Maybe this week, maybe this tournament. Two players not even looking. They're so locked in on this fight.
It's day one. It's map one. We can't be having clutches like this already. Like, this is a 1v4. And look at this final kill. He didn't even know where Jing was. He didn't know where he was being shot from. It's like, oh, this hurts.
That is one of the most ridiculous things I've seen. PRX, they win the rounds they shouldn't. They lose the ones they should. Something on the Raga now. PRX
Oh my God!
He is fighting right back. 6 kills in a row for him now. He's only got 9 in the map. I mean, I don't know what happened to him
God.
since last round, but XLG 4v3, and it's all thanks to Viva.
You know, they say the Viva la France. Maybe he's just found his home.
Nice one, Ilya.
I don't know what's going on. But whatever happens, anybody who walks into the crosshair of something over the last couple of rounds has ended up dead.
Oh, Happy Way. He's got the flank. Again, it's the same scenario. The guy from PRX gets one immediately shot in the back. The timing, good and bad, I suppose. Wait up. Back to a 2v2 though, and that op is still lurking around, but on this side of the map, it's only Divine. He doesn't last long. No Man's Sky able to take him down. And the op all that stands for PRX. This could be a 7-4 lead for the underdog.
It's still, you know, something is alive. He's going with the operator. Knows at least where the opponents on the other side are sitting. Gonna try and just get it to half. Honestly, that's not bad. He will have to deal with the Tiger, and they now have to swing this. They have to go looking because he's already managed to get it halfway through.
Let's go, India!
1v2 where he has an operator, and he manages to isolate both fights. Oh, it makes no sense, Mitch. It makes no sense.
I don't know what's going on in this game, man. Another Red Bull clutch, another 4K. This time it's on PRX's side.
Hadir, Coconut din nampak dong.
This swing wide as well. Caught Happy Way off guard. He thought he had the jump on him. And something jumps to his feet. A frustrating loss. What could have been a 7-4 lead, a guaranteed lead at the halftime.
They won a 1v4 the round before. Like, if we're going, balance has been restored in the world.
Absolutely. Perfectly balanced. As all rounds should be. Back and forth we go, but for PRX, this is where they want to bring it up one more. 6-6 at the halftime. 3 pistols that PRX are up against. A huge advantage to the defenders, but already a lot of space taken by XLG.
Oh, gila timingnya.
A large amount of invested utility. That's most of what they have. Dimensional drift utilized, but an immediate first kill. The trade again has gone back the other way, but this time the weaponry advantage starting to take control.
Jing!
This time only with a pistol, and there is no.
He's on, let's go!
Actually, the job gets done. It is a dead even half. And honestly, Mitch, I think it's about right. I think it's about right. 6-6 seems fair.
Certainly not the half I expected to see, Tom.
No.
And then 5 rounds in, it's not the half I expected to see either, because XLG were dominating.
Maybe not even the half I wanted to see. There was some stuff happening there.
Come on, I'm here for the 4K Red Bull clutches all day long. This has been a competitive one, and like we said, XLG underdogs, but there's no reason to count them out. PRX, even in rounds where they're underdogs, they show us just how hard you can swing when you're fighting up, and I think after this half, it's anyone's guess what is going to be going on when we go to half number 2. But I'll tell you what, before we get there, we've got a halftime break, and during it, we're going to go over to Lou, who's standing by with a special guest. It's Jing's mom.
Bonjour à tous. On est en direct pour ce premier jour des Champions, en direct des arènes avec la maman de Jing qui a voyagé à travers le monde pour soutenir son fils. It's a pleasure to welcome you, Pearl, to Champions Paris, following Jing as always. So this is going to be my first question. What makes you follow your son in all his adventures? What are you the most proud of him?
Very proud of him, but the real reason why I'm following him is because my son doesn't know how to pack his luggage. Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good answer. And you know, you always need your mom's help, you know, for this stuff, even if you're an adult. Donc première question, qu'est-ce qui fait que vous venez soutenir votre fils comme ça à l'autre bout du monde? Et bah tout simplement, il ne sait pas faire sa valise. Donc je suis avec lui pour un petit peu toutes ces étapes-là. Second question, we're speaking about Paris, you know, the city of light, the city of love, but also the city of very good food. So have you been able to try any? What do you want to try?
We tried the escargot.
Escargot?
It's really good, and my son's favorite. And also we went to this really good hot chocolate place, Carrette.
Okay.
C-A-R-E-T-T-E. Yeah, it's really fantastic, and we are going back again.
Oh, you're going to be back again for sure. Donc, est-ce que tu as pu tester un petit peu de la nourriture française? On le sait, on est connu pour l'amour, pour notre belle ville, mais aussi pour notre nourriture. Et du coup, oui, j'ai testé les escargots. Jing a adoré, c'est son plat préféré. Et moi, de mon côté, on a aussi goûté du chocolat chaud. Donc voilà, on y retournera, c'est sûr. And let's see now if Jing brings back the victory on this first match. Let's get back to the game.
Chocolat chaud et escargot. Not a bad palate, I have to say. Some sweet treats in there. And when you look at this game, another sweet treat for us and all the folks at home and here in the venue at Paris. This 6-6 scoreline, Tom, it certainly caught us off guard. PRX clear favorites, we would think, but it's been a back and forth game as we get into the Coinbase econ report.
Yeah, no surprise to see Jing is very high up on that one. He's been having a pretty damn good game so far, but in all honesty, it has been this sort of like, who is going to win the round for PRX, or on the other side, it feels like anybody can step up. Jing and Something definitely leading the way in terms of just the individual brilliance. 16-7, 14-7, both have had their rounds, but yeah, that Viva clutch, the 1v4 to start the tournament, I don't know, that's going to be difficult to top. I'm sure somebody will at some point, but honestly, madness in this first half. And the good thing is, obviously data incredibly low because we haven't seen much of it from the side of XLG other than their victory versus DRG, but they were way better on defense. So it's possible that they come in and this is now their favorite half.
Well, that's exactly what Ender was saying on the desk, right? Like, he wanted to see how XLG would perform on the defense because, yes, this is a squad that evidently has the individuals to match up. But the reality is, for PRX on the attack, that is where they can really pull out all the stops, where they can play like madmen.
Yes.
Well, look at this pistol round to finally give an advantage in this half to one team or the other. For PRX, it was 4 players towards B-Long on their defensive side. They had a firing squad ready and waiting, but still, XLG took the cake. Will it be the same in half number 2?
There are 3 players ready and waiting on the A site. The TP is still available. You never know if they'll double back in. They're using the Viper screen to take themselves a lot of additional space.
Gila, udah masuk lah.
Jing has already made it round the
let's go,
backline.
Jing,
Nade over the top is going to make this very awkward for
Let's
Viva
go!
position. In fact,
Oh,
not
no.
awkward. He's gone down. The remaining 2
He's
players
going
still in
down.
position, but Jing is just running right. Eventually,
No,
he should
dapat
fall.
eh.
But there's a trade to be had.
Yeah, finally. It comes through. Something sneaking about. He's gone into the spawn, and Happy Way was none the wiser. No man. The last one standing. No man to help him but himself. And a big swing to come through from Devi. He's the first to fall. Now down to a 1v2. Bite-sized, manageable, but his back turned to Something, and that will be a death sentence. He won't escape. PRX 7-6. Pistols
7-6.
1-1.
Good.
Now taking themselves the lead in the game, and I'll be looking to see if there is any sort of response. The amount of space they were able to get just off the back of the Viper screen, maybe not something you'd expect in most rounds. Maybe a little bit of extra utility available in that part of the map, but it did make it quite difficult once that wraparound had already come in through the lamps to have any sort of map control or site control for XLG. A Happy Way, he had a Bucky on attack. Now he's got a Bucky on defense, but I'm a little bit happier to see where he's playing with it in this round.
Yeah,
Bucky
perhaps
on
a bit
Happy
more
Way.
normal.
Oh, damn.
As we said, whether you're in Lamps or
Itulah
Hookah,
kenapa kita
those
main
shotguns
high
can do a
sense,
lot
ya.
of damage, and I think there's good reason that PRX are avoiding those closer range engagements straight up through B-Long. Again, this has been, I feel like, the hot spot on the map for this team.
No, man.
It's not
Okay,
looking
let's
good
go,
to
let's
start.
go.
Luckily, Jing's there to pick up
Oh,
the pieces.
untung salah satu.
Pat man down. They lose that fade utility. They lose the ability to see what's behind that wall. Do they decide to still go bursting through as XLG have made the rotate?
Witnessed early the power of that double flash, the Sky Gecko.
Let's go, something.
Okay. Oh, okay, he gets through
Let's go,
the
let's go,
Bucky,
let's
does
go,
at
let's
least
go,
a little
let's
bit of damage, but there were definitely some weaker weapons in hand.
Panic.
Although I think the Marshal has been kept over a Spectre, it really doesn't make much of a difference, and they will at least keep themselves the rifles.
Marshall over a Spectre, I'll take that deal any day coming into the next round.
It depends what your plan is.
No, I'll take it any day. We've already seen the no-scopes work. But we'll see as we move on to the next. This is where XLG, you know, all those good deeds will be forgotten if they end up going out with 7, 8, 9 rounds. We want to see them battling tooth and nail. We want to see them taking the fight to PRX here, but it's not easy. This bonus round, if you want to even call it that, it's only one Bulldog that's at a disadvantage for the attacking side. Sprays through again. B-Long with 4
no
players
man on the
there. It
low,
seems
let's
like this
go.
is just PRX's first 15-second plan in so many of the rounds, and it does almost get them first blood. No man's on half. The nade is, oh, that's doing a lot of damage. Desperately low. He's in the open. Somehow gets one before he falls.
Jason, don't die.
He didn't just take the TP, but
yeah,
clearly don't want to give up that control. Something there willing to sacrifice his life to battle for, especially when his teammate had full control over showers already. So it wasn't even a risk, really, going through that TP with the Viper screen available as well. Forsaken, even on low HP, still brawling.
FIFA low, FIFA low,
45 when he
FIFA
took that
City,
fight, but
FIFA
now
City.
leaves a couple of opponents tagged up as well.
Yeah, if Viva walks out of this round with a 4K, I think we pause for an investigation. Down to 6 HP, 25 up on the shields, at least the regen, keeping him relatively healthy, and he's on his way. Smoke's already down. Mosh pit to buy a little bit of time, but their plant hadn't even been tapped yet. 35 seconds, still plenty to play with for PRX, and they've sent Forsaken through to the B site.
Let's go,
They can go
Jason.
for the TP now. They can wrap back around, but they've already gone in towards the site.
Can Pac-Man escape? They've had to use a smoke.
No!
Spams! That was the problem. He didn't make it into the TP in time. Forsaken had hit his timing, but the rest of the team were fairly well committed. Maybe a little bit of a mix-up in what was the plan. And while for Forsaken, his only choice now is to run, grab the spike, and try and plant on the A site. I don't think he has time for that anymore. Too wary of where his opponents are going to be. XLG, just based on, I feel like the havoc that PRX caused themselves, have been able to win the round.
Yeah, indeed. You know, you look at this situation as if you just stick that play towards the A side. Already so much of the utility burned up from XLG. They don't have the mosh pit to deny. Then maybe they could have found success. Great pick.
Kalah jelek,
Drop Nomad,
cok.
considering he was so desperately low, but yeah, you start seeing players fall back, pull forward. It becomes complete chaos.
Oh,
and then
it's
his
like one of the last bullets.
I think it was literally the last bullet from Raga, ends up dropping the spike, which could have made it to the TP a little bit earlier. Not singing from the same hymn sheet here in PRX. Will they have fallen apart because of it? Still, that was the quote-unquote bonus round. Now they come in with a Guardian instead of the Bulldog in the previous, but a big weapon that is in play is the Showstopper, and it's right onto Viva.
Oh no! Rarga!
Oh, off angle though from Raga.
Okay, let's go. Mantap.
Doesn't get rewarded for it. Does at least deny the plant for now, but the amount of space is already there. It seems like it's going to be a lot more commitment in this round from PRX. Not risking the rotate back. They've done well to clear out Jing though, and we'll even things up once again.
It's going to be a very late play coming in from something. The wraparound taking quite a while. The steps are going to be heard. He's heard Coconut, but Coconut didn't hear him and pops the ult. It's disastrous. Something's going to be right on them with no man in the door.
Let's go!
Something. It looked like he was late to the party, but he ends up winning the round for PRX.
Something.
Great flank from the Yoru, and a 9th round for PRX as a result.
I think with just how direct that initial take was, I don't think there was any expectation that somebody would be lurking on the other side of the map. Like, if they were a little bit quicker, that could have all gone wrong, but instead, and rightly so, they go back and they go, okay, yeah, let's try and take this one slow. Let's use the Thrash to clear out all of these risky positions, and because of it, they get caught, they get bitten.
Happyway is having a terrible time.
Oh. 9-7. Unfortunately for XLG, that was
Main Gojek sampai.
all of their money invested. Forsaken is going to spot this out, but this is just a shooting range. Up against no weaponry, and while Happyway, he's going to try and take this fight with a bucket. There's absolutely no hope. A flawless round for PRX, and any economy problems are immediately dissipated.
Here it is, the new skin, the new finisher. 3 more needed for PRX if you're having trouble figuring out what's between 10 and 13. And this is what we're worried about, right? It's about once that ball gets rolling, the snowball effect on PRX, the individual confidence sky high. Something playing one of the latest lurks in the previous round, and it working out. It's a terrifying sign for XLG. They need to bounce back. It's going to be a good time to put in their pause. I see the timer frozen, and indeed it is going to be a pause from XLG. I don't think that takes many brain cells to work out, though. They have started to slip and slide, and it's PRX who seems set to take this map. Perhaps not the series, but you have to remember, they chose Sunset up next. Whatever we think about that, they must have ideas.
Oh, for sure. I think that it's a map that, okay, maybe they had a slip up versus Zeta, but that does feel like a bit of a weird week for PRX in general. Other than that, confident win over T1, and over the last few months have had big victories versus a lot of top teams. So I don't think they're going to be too worried going into that matchup. And on the other side of things, XLG got decimated by DRG on that map. So I think that this is even though this is a very, very good map for PRX and maybe overall a solid time for XLG, you also have to then consider the rest of the group. Like an informed looking GX, Sentinels. Like I don't think most people would have PRX Sentinels making it out based on previous tournaments. And for XLG, although a loss to PRX is nothing to be ashamed of, it's very similar to what we saw at the prior event where, oh, you lost to G2 and Sen. You didn't do bad though. It's like, well, it doesn't matter.
Well, exactly. As we said, the pain of nearly. For XLG, that's what's going to haunt them. They come in today, you tell them you're going to lose 2-0, 2-1 to PRX. Okay, fine. As long as we put up a fight, but then you tell them you could have won, you were close.
Yeah.
You had the
at least in the
opportunities.
first half.
Hey, in the first half, absolutely. This could have been a 7 or 8 round half from them, but this is the moment where they can't leave anything on the table. Where are those signs of life? Rifles in hand, a lot of light shields. Ult's not really there for the defenders, but for the attackers, they've got all the info. Something's already seen these players on site. Orbital strike comes through, play inside the smoke. Flashes!
Let's go! Something!
Even
Something!
though it didn't hit, We're down to 3 versus 4. Full control for PRX to beat it down. Swarmed from all sides. And XLG have to fight an uphill battle, but the first steps go swimmingly.
That's not bad. A couple of low players as well. The swing, Coconut has managed
Aduh,
to bring this round
aduh,
into
aduh.
contention. A 2 versus 4 that, I'll be honest, looked impossible. Raga, I wasn't even sure if he was going to go for it, but when Coconut puts that into play, there's a chance. Even still, Forsaken and Divine, normally a safe pair of hands. The defenders, they're going to group up. They're going to try and join each other, but the swing for Forsaken isolates the battle. It gives Raga a chance once again.
No!
5 HP is all he needs as XLG win the 2v4.
That is a huge win, and we heard it from him in the interview. As I said earlier, this is a guy that said he just wants to prove that he's got what it takes to fight against some of these players, a team that we've seen with the 5 duelists come before. But he can match up against them. That's devastating for Happy Way. Thank God they had that clutch in the end. Your scoreline stays close down to a gap of 2 thanks to this man here. Look how desperately close it was. Close ain't good enough for PRX. Gap of 2. The rifles still come out on the attacking side.
Definitely seeing some of those blips. The 1v4, 2v4, PRX making a fair amount of mistakes with hefty advantages, but XLG are doing well to capitalize off of them. Coconut with a huge individual round and basically keeping them in the match. That would have been their economy not only wrecked, but also PRX being just a couple away from taking their own map choice. And they do have to be careful in this round. Light shields on every player bar 1. And that sniper for something. Think about the first half and how much it caused them issues. They can't afford to give this man a fight.
Not at all. You end up getting lit down 140 in this to 10 HP, and it's pretty much guaranteed pickup for PRX when the utility bombardment comes through. There's the Outlaw already spotted with the decoy sent through. Flash finds nothing but it. Always the danger that that's a Yoru on his own, ready to gate crash, but now the Flash confirms that the big play is coming through. They've taken Jing out of the sky. No man's got 2. The Patman tries his best to pull it back, yet it's left all onto Divide. He's got 3 to take down. The first comes easy, but 25 seconds. A Viper's Pit online. He might even have time to get this up after the plant. From where is the question? With the showstopper hunting him down. It looks like he wants to stand his ground. He
No! Nampag ko ganti piso!
decides to fall
Dapat!
back a little too late. Raga again getting the round on the board in the final
Mm,
stages for
dapat.
XLG, and a 10-9. The signs of life very much there.
Yeah, like doubling up in that corner, it definitely seemed like a gamble. You know that if a player runs through and just maybe even gets a little bit lucky, it could have been your round over, but I think that's been something that XLG have done great so far in this match, is that surprise factor. They have been so hard to read that even when you have a full bombardment of utility, they're able to come out with an advantage. And even then, just I like him watching Coconut play. Like, even though he ends up going down in the 5 versus Divide, his goal is to stay alive. He's not trying to be the hero. He's not trying to put the team on his back. He is basically just going, okay, let's buy as much time as possible for my team.
Snake bite landing on long, denying that control for XLG. but it's towards the A site that the real fight is coming in. And the reaction from XLG very early on, they popped the Thrash. They see players inside of Bath, but that Thrash not retrievable, not finding the impact. It's a glorified drone.
Coconut doesn't want to hold it for a retake again. Oh, the nades are going to be exchanged, but it's Devi almost using
Whoa!
of a teammate.
Oh, oh my god!
3 players immediately down.
Let's
We've seen a
go!
1v4,
Jesus
2v4.
Santo!
We've definitely not seen a 1v5, and I don't think Viva is going to give the time of day. And this is what I felt like has been the difference between the two squads, though. It feels like when XLG win a round, it is by the skin of their teeth. It is very close. There's maybe a player or two surviving or a clutch round. When PRX win a round, well, as of yet, there's not a point of damage done.
Yeah, point of no damage
I know it's
done.
kind of bad of you to assume Viva's not winning this 1v5 with time ticking and Spike on the other side of the map. But I agree with you entirely, in all seriousness. Like, PRX, like you said, they look dominant in some of the rounds that they're taking. XLG, it's clutches. It's thriving in the chaos, back and forth, trading blows. Viva will even get out of here with the Guardian. You've heard the TP, so did he. The smoke buys him a little bit of extra space. Looks like he's okay. 32 HP, though. That was close to disaster. 11-9. PRX 2 away. XLG 2 behind. It still is anyone's game, but there's a problem brewing, Tom.
Yeah, this is the issue. When you have so many casualties in the round that you win. Okay. Yeah, right. I'm glad that the player
he saw him earlier.
The player was highlighted. It's like, yeah, and then he just banged him through the smoke. Just off time.
He obviously calculated how far he could walk.
Exactly. I think he has a ruler on stage. Well,
Sure is allowed.
the buy is abysmal.
I mean, a good chance to catch them if they do go through that pit, having the judge investment. The problem is, when you look at the tab as PRX and you see, okay, they don't have much money, and you see a pit go up, if you decide to go through that pit, you're insane. Now, PRX are insane.
Sometimes they,
so
yeah.
there is a chance they do that, so actually rated against them. But yeah, generally speaking, that's just not going to find the value. We have to look elsewhere.
The only
and of
other
course,
thing
you can't force stack B because you have to clear that Bath wraparound.
The other thing will be the assumption of a stack, though. It's, if you see that pit, you're mostly probably going to assume maybe it's just one player there. It really is a game of playing the odds. 45 seconds left. Viper screen definitely causing them issues before with the amount that
Jason, you
it's
saw
been
him,
able to
Jason, you
delay
saw
this
him,
time
Jason, you
there
saw
through
him.
it. With relative ease, actually going to commit the orbital strike. They're going to try and isolate players. Viva has done well. The problem is he has been lost. Jing again with another high impact round, and the rest of the team have plenty of time to make their way into the site. We've spoken about the clutches and what XLG have managed to bring home, but this one I would really, well, I expect a hole in the desk if PRX let this one slip.
I expect a hole in the desk from XLG's coaching staff, though. This feels like an overheat, Tom. You come into this round where you've got next to nothing, where you're fighting if you lose for PRX. 3 rounds in a row, 3 chances in a row to close it, and a pit and an orbital strike put through it. That feels like such a heavy commitment, leaving them with nothing for this buy round.
I guess the look here is that, okay, now we have 2 chances, once with the ultimates and once with the rifles, rather than having 1 chance to all in. I don't necessarily mind it. Like, I do get what you're saying, especially when you're up against someone like PRX. But I do feel like there's also the thing about you could have both those ultimates still lose, and then you've just given the other.
I mean, the pit I'm not against. Orbital strike caught me off guard.
Oh, here we go.
Down 1, here goes Show.
Oh!
And there it goes. It's gone. Rarka snipes him out of the sky.
Great
Pop on the flash. Won't find much else. And another popped in as Viva struggles up close, but finds himself 2. Now, inside the smoke, he will fall, but he's given his team a fighting chance. The problem is, with that Viper's pit going up, they now have an uphill battle to get anywhere near that spike. That's close.
The commentator.
Until it's too late for the spike.
Spike!
Maybe assume that he let go. They're going to know that both players likely confined to this pit. Although Patman has managed to leave. The drop will be known, and it's risky from Devi, but the risk pays off, and now No Man left alone. Pit gonna be
Let's go, GG guys, GG.
It was a
What a
valiant effort
first
by XLG,
map.
a fight back
What a
and
good
forth,
first
but
map.
ultimately the job expected to be won and was won by PRX.
Well, this is expected result, but an unexpected way we got here, right? This was quite a journey. XLG showing us that they've got the ability to take PRX, to push them to their limits, and they'll have to do the same on Sunset, PRX's map, after this break.
Dude, actually cannot believe we are playing already our first match.
Reason is we win Japan. We go here. We tire. Select a bit, then we win champion.
Yeah, we tired, we start slow, and then after that we rocket up other truths.
Now that I'm a mom, things are different. Verizon's different too. They let everyone in my family choose different plans. We get what we want and we save money. Love that for me.
An update is required. Financial system updating. System updated.
We will dance together.
The future of money is here. Feels good.
Esports World Cup, where we are starting off with Valorant.
If you want to win, you have to win against the best.
So looking for revenge.
There's the shorty, and Alpha goes crazy!
They've all battled through the pressure and expectation. Heretics have come back all the way!
Finally we won. Finally.
We realize it. Come let me this. We realize it. Come let me this. We realize it. Come let me this. We realize it. We realize it. We realize it. Come let me this. We realize it. Come let me this. We realize it. Come let me this.
Hebat.
What the bullets? Why?
Hey guys, Mika here with Alex of PRX. Congratulations on the first map win of Champions Paris. That was a bit closer than many expected though. So what do you think it was? Was it PRX with a bit of a slow start, or was it XLG doing something that surprised all of you?
I mean, first of all, I think XLG is a very good team. You know, they champions of Stage 1 China. They have the MVP in their team. Aside from that, I think both teams are a little bit nervous. So you could see like the games were. I mean, everyone was trying to take their time and relaxing a little bit, trying not to make mistakes. So I believe that now that everyone's warmed up, I think the second game will be a banger.
Oh, that's a teaser. Well, good luck to you guys.
PRX, they take map 1 here, but they did have to work for it, Ender and Doug. It wasn't easy by any means. So if we take a look at the HyperX reflex moment here from Viva, this was ridiculous.
This was absolutely insane. So No Man gets cleared down short. And then look at these shots from Viva. So quick on the adjustments. It's like one shot miss, instant reset headshot. Miss, instant reset headshot. Just sick.
Yintu, I think you said it exceptionally well. They pushed PRX. I think they had a really good idea on their attacking side. We talked a bit about the Waylay versus the Raze and how, traditionally speaking, the Raze fits a little bit more, but maybe they'd be missing a little bit of that, you know, Joker in their hand, a little like trick to try to make their attack side a little bit more, a little bit stronger. But I love the way they layered their utility. I think there were often times that PRX looked a little overwhelmed on sites. They did a really good job of chaining those together, and it was enough in the first half, but then everything kind of fell apart.
Yeah, it was. If we take a look at the post one, we can tell they've given us a reason to believe why they picked Bind.
Well, I think the first thing is, I think XLG really locked in the post plants and we're very aware of the flanks. You heard Alex talking about it. I think PRX were going way too often for walk-ups and going for flanks, and the crowd here is going wild for the flanks, it sounds like. But honestly, I think XLG held their ground really nicely, and specifically Viva and No Man's Sky. You know, great game, great player, absolutely popping off in these late rounds.
And again, I think it was, they understood their game plan was utility dump onto the site, get out there. And once you get there, once you get into a post plant, they've got PRX figured out a little bit, but they also knew what their protocol was.
I even love the creativity of like Viva realizing 3 people are on the flank. He drops the Brimald, right? Just to delay, and he ends up going down, but you still see those moments where I think XLG did a very good job of adjusting to the chaotic style that PRX were bringing.
They did, definitely, indeed. This is the thing, though. If it weren't for, you know, the Something Jing duo doing so well, being able to bring this game back, it could have been, you know, even an overtime, I think, the way that XLG were playing.
I think there's a world where, like, without Something just dominating like 3 rounds in the first half and solo winning them, like XLG could have been up 8 or 9 at the half, but it's brought down to 6 and 6 because the great work out of Something, and him and Jing just crushed.
Yeah, in the second half. Ender, I think you're absolutely right. If it was not for Something stabilizing in that first half, it probably gets away from them in the first half. And then, you know, Alex was talking about it in interview. They needed to calm down a little bit. They were kind of overswinging. They were a little bit too up. But if not for Something's heroics, we're talking about an entirely different half and potentially an entirely different score here.
He was giving it as well, which is crazy, you know.
Yeah, out of his seat a little bit.
I love to see it. I would also love to hear what Havoya had to say, of course, standing by with Mika Faz ahead of map 2.
I'm here right now with Havoya of XLG. Now, that was a very tough first map. I wanted to ask about the Bind pick because this is one of PRX's strongest maps. It's also a strong map for XLG, but I was just curious on your thoughts on picking that map, and was it because you felt like the ban on Lotus was more important for PRX?
I think first of all, PRX feel themselves better on Lotus, but also we feel fine on Bind. It was just like a tough series for us, and I mean the map, and we dropped some ecos. Also, we didn't manage to win second pistol. I think if we could step up a little bit earlier, I think it could be our map. So it is what it is. Let's move on to the second map.
Right. Well, hopefully they step up a bit more on Sunset.
What are their chances on Sunset? If on Bind, you guys weren't super sure why they chose this, does it get better on Sunset for XLG?
No, honestly, I mean, we were a little bit surprised with the bind coming through, but it was sort of a secret weapon map for them in the playoffs for the team. So I think bind was almost a must-win in the series, with it being PRX's choice here.
Which is almost unfair to ask, given that you're going against an undefeated PRX on bind, but I'm inclined to agree with you. It did feel like a must-win, and as we turn our attention over to Sunset, again, there's going to be a Sage. We're going to see that for the first time on the global stage, for sure, the buff stage and kind of how that changes playstyle.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's less of a major change to the playstyle. It gives you a lot more ability to like react, put down a wall from a further range as you're rotating in or something like this to put it down. But I think for XLG, what they will have been focusing on in a lot of the prep work, coming in knowing that high chance that Sunset is going to be coming through in the map here, is when they are working against PRX's defense. PRX puts up so much of a fight into the mains, A main, B main, and I think that XLG need to be very snappy at punching these forward positions. I think having a Neon and a Yoru in your comp to take down those angles is a good spot.
Oh, it's Noman's not playing Deadlock anymore. It's gonna be Noman, Neon, and Raga Yoru. I really like this.
I do too.
I like it a lot.
I'm completely on board with this. I think you have so many different fighting tools, again, to punish PRX overextending, and again, you call it overextending, but they are often dominating on those forward lines. I think also with the way that Noman was dominating back on Bind, you could not ask for a better guy to be stepping into that second duelist role for the team here on Sunset.
I think this might be his 7th or 8th agent that
he
played on this team.
Literally everything.
Yeah. You're right. I do think. So when I saw the change from Waylay to Raze, I thought, okay, they're going to want to fight it out with PRX, and I think we saw a lot of that in the first half. I think this follows that same line of thinking. They're going to want to duke it out with PRX, and that's a hard thing to do. They did it in the first half, kind of fell apart in the second half. I'm hesitant to see the Sunset.
Yeah, and if that map was PRX needing to warm up, they're going to get scarier, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be more warmed up on Sunset. It is their map pick. But there is a switch up on the side of the comms, at least for XLG, so maybe that's throwing another spanner in the works for them. I don't know how you guys feel, but I would love to hear what Mitchman and Tombiz thinks about that little agent change.
Well, Tom, how's that tickled your fancy?
I don't know. I feel like being a little bit more boisterous could be nice. I think Noman definitely had a few moments individually. I do fear that trying to almost beat PRX with firepower and aggression it might not work. I think it's a bold play. I do want to focus though on Happyway, because I feel like he had a pretty poor first map, and he's someone that the Des highlights I like to highlight as well as one of their best players individually. He's now a pivotal part, especially on the defense and on the lurk. If he's having a poor performance, PRX win easy.
What a lineup.
No, without a doubt. As you said as well, looking at Neon, it will be point of contact. No Man's Sky was stellar when it came to that first map.
Look at the
PRX, they didn't get the memo. They think they're still on the attack side. They pushed through mid with 3, full control, 4 in fact. You can count the player towards the door of Patman, who will be safeguarding Market. But this is all about the flank game, and there is, luckily, a trap waiting for them there. So it won't be a complete surprise that there's someone there. It just might be a bit of a surprise quite how many players Happyway is about to see.
Patman's the only player elsewhere, down to 1 HP already, so I have to be a bit more careful. But you can see they have switched up where they are defending this spike from, or pushing all the way around. It hasn't mattered though. The swarm that is PRX has given them an advantage.
Let's go, Nabai!
He's going to start defusing. He's just going to stick behind the wall. They need to run back around over the top. They need to go, and it seems like they are not going to be able to deal with anything. It is diffused in front of their nose. Rocker, he did well, and I think Nabai even stopped for a second. He was like, okay, someone's going to jump on this wall, and then they didn't.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were too busy dealing with players towards main. It's a nasty little strategy, and one that has worked wonders. There was a gap on the, on the left side here, as we see it from Forsaken's perspective. It could have been exploited on the wraparound as well, so no surprise that he was a little bit worried. In the end, Morga surviving on 1 HP, but it doesn't make a difference. It is 1-0 start for PRX. And we want to see XLG on the board early, because we saw it in the last one. PRX slow to start. We even heard it in the comms. They called it. Let's start slow, and then we get them. Paraphrasing.
Yeah, you can't start a train at full speed. That's not how it works.
That is true. Got to pick it up. They only had to dock into the station, speak with the conductor Alex one time, then it was plain sailing.
I love watching something because, like, you will see him play an agent that you think is like, okay, supportive util lineup, and then he's playing contact with a sniper rifle at B main. It doesn't necessarily add up. I also love the fact that we've seen these changes to Sage, obviously making the range of that wall so much further. So Devi obviously places it 2 millimeters away from where he is. Yeah. This round, expectation incredibly low. Any weaponry.
Oh my god!
Nice, and hey,
what the fuck?
Ragga! And that should be retrievable. Oh, good selection though from something.
Will be retrievable, but at a heavy cost indeed. Round goes Jing. He's down to 15.
Let's go!
As something covers that.
Take the outlaw, man. Take the outlaw, man. Take the outlaw,
4 players
man.
alive. Big
Give it to
weapon still
something,
carried
man.
through. It's a strong start, but this round is really where we get the litmus test. A good sign early on, though, is seeing Rarga be able to deliver. As we said, he's someone that comes into, as he said as well, he's someone who comes in here with something to prove, and he's certainly playing like it.
Yeah, I definitely think so. As I said, like last time we saw XLG at Masters, it wasn't really anything to write home about. Like obviously we've seen them have a fair few roster changes throughout the year, trying to fill in for you, and I don't mean you, obviously.
For me?
No.
Shadows traveling. You're trying to replace me, Thomas. This is like Baby Bay. It's all right. I'm ready to play.
Okay.
Me against him.
Your Phoenix might be better than his. We'll have to wait.
Oh well, there's no need for that.
This purchase is definitely an odd one though. You've got yourself a Buckingham for Forsaken. Sting is still in play. Like this is around the XOG, nigh on half to win. Otherwise, the amount of economy upgrades that there will be. Dimensional Drift only 1 away as well. Could be powerful in that post pump, but it is a wide net currently being thrown out by XLG. And while Forsaken mentioned that he had a weaker gun, it didn't stop him taking a fairly aggressive angle.
45 on the clock, fairly committed from XLG. They got to go towards this site. Jing to deal with to start. Great stun, but he gets out of there thanks to the blast packs. Well placement. 35 now. XLG got to pick up the pace. Wrapping around, but PRX are flooding back into the site. 3 players here now with one deeper towards the spawn. This is essentially a 4-man hold. 25 seconds, and they call for the rotate. There, it's the right call. They've dragged all these players over. And they'll make their way across mid with that smoke with ease. This should be a plant, but I'm always wary of PRX's ability to be disruptive. Something.
Nice.
Only one.
Yeah, and they managed to make it to the side. The spike was being guarded all the way through. A good redirection, especially with the Sage wall being used in towards the spawn. There was the box up top that you would have had Devi watching from afar. And now even with no man in the spawn, just waiting to try and catch them as they fall out. The fact is though, PRX, all of these guns are going to be upgraded in the next round anyway, so they might as well try and do some damage.
Now, that's exactly what they're looking for. You see all this deep clears of middle. The idea is certainly in their head that someone could be lurking around. Rifle picked up for Devi as well. Good chance to make these exits very costly. He will close in towards this spawn. I don't think Jing has any chance of... Oh, actually, he might have a chance of having an impact. He goes back to...
No, Devi!
Devi is shut down. Okay, 2-1. 4 players alive for XLG. That's a picture-perfect round 3.
Yeah, and that's exactly as clean as it needed to be. It definitely got a little bit dangerous, and as we mentioned, like you're always going to see these sort of timing fights looking to be utilized by the side of PRX. It gets them a lot of early information. So I like the fact that with 20 seconds left, they were willing to sort of gamble on that rotation, not fearful that they'll be caught somewhere else. Even still, though, it's going to be an immediate purchase back up from the side of PRX, and I'm kind of looking at Rarga here. He's going to immediately utilize that Dimensional Drift. Bear in mind, the only weapon he has is the Shorty.
Perfect for this ultimate. 1 flash left. Oh, he's come out without one. Moving around through the smokes, but the wraparound for Patman. Quick on his feet. He'll take Rarga down. Now it's Rifles, though, that they will be up against. The trick play hasn't worked. Devi's dead. Dead to right. It's even a headshot from No Man to lock it in. But still, a 2 versus 4. Can't even get the 3 out before Patman's dealing with another. PRX holding strong so far. And Happy Way failing to take down Jing. Now that's the information. The element of surprise gone for his position. And the wraparound super late from Forsaken. He's going to cause issues, but Viva seemed aware of it. The timing, though, he corrects in time, but he can't quite land the shot.
There's been a lot of moments, especially with how low some of these players are, where there's a chance, but it seems like PRX are ready and raring to go on this defensive half. A third already picked up, and I have to say that the orb placement coming out from Patman there in the early stages of that round was just wonderful. Like you see this attempt to play to the back of the site, and he's just denied all of it, just keeping hold of that control.
Yeah, it's the fact that he's able to walk into spawn to be safe and then back out with his smoke, right? It's so much value delivered as a result of that. I'm not sure what's being said there. I love these guys. The energy on the stage is different, and 3-1 up. Energy will only increase as these rounds keep going their way, but PRX, deep play, caught by the stun, caught by the paranoia. Jing's stuck in the corner, and they know it, but in goes Divide. Happy to help out his buddy, set him up for success. Forsaken's back.
Oh, timing, no!
Will be dropped by Nomad. We're back to a 3v3. Spike still secure for XLG, and this map, it doesn't get any smaller. The less players to defend it, this should be an advantage for the attacking side.
Yeah, it feels like the first 15 to 20 seconds of the round lead to those early battles, and then there's a break in the action. I do feel like XLG throughout this matchup so far have actually done quite well to deny a lot of these plays from PRX. I think it was even Nomad just having a reactive stun immediately to try and slow that push. Now with 50 seconds left, early rotation available. Forsaken up top, but he has been dealt with immediately. Nomad doing well on this Neon.
Spike planted.
Spike will now be planted.
They know players on side are stuck there. Snakebite stops them from falling back and stops Happyway from helping out, but now it's faded. Happyway on the angle, looking for the fight, finding it, and Nomad tripling up. That's what we needed to see. XLG won't let PRX run away with this as they push up to 2.
Yeah, I was definitely a little bit skeptical with Nomad going onto the Neon. I think definitely a role that he has played quite a bit in terms of that individual brilliance. I think we saw some of the skill in the last map, but as said, even some of the reactive stuns he's putting out, willing to sort of take a bit of a gamble, take a risk versus these players, and the timing was then in his favor, but even just winning, some of the fights that maybe he necessarily shouldn't. Not even flexing while he does it. 3-2. The economy of PRX has taken a hit here though, a pistol for something, although at times it doesn't even feel like a detriment.
Well, PRX, think back to the last map when they had that astonishing, I think round 5, bunch of pistols in play, and that's maybe the most dominant that they'd looked. For XLG, ulti's available. They need those safety nets. That rotates from Coconut, the information. You have a Hunter's Fury soon. Deep play from Nomad. No ult popped. It's down to his rifle. But Coconut's fallen.
Oh, Batman, what the fuck are you doing, Batman?
Now they've sensed the weakness, blood in the water, but Forsaken still standing
strong.
Deep fight from Nomad, though, has managed to pull this back to a 3v3, and with the ult pop, he's got a tough fight up against Jing, and he won't win it. But with Forsaken going down, the numbers keep going back and forth till there's only 2 men left standing.
The 1v1 that leaves Sova's on either side. Bit of a risky position.
Let's go!
Something's gonna get away with it. It was kind of as easy as that 1v1 could have gone, but that was, I felt like that. I always talk about an observer's nightmare as a round where there's just a million pieces of utility. I feel like that was it. It was just one kill, but all on different points of the map, like timing to catch out Patman, the drop down avoiding, the fake out, Jing winning the battle versus a slightly shaky Nomad, and then coming all the way down to the 1v1 at the end is PRX to keep their lead, extend it a little further. But there is still investment here for either side. In fact, both teams' economy here is on the brink. It's only something that has a few extra credits to spare. So a winner of this round, it could be worth a double.
This is going to be so punchy. Could even have a Hunter's Fury off rip coming through from Viva. They want to get aggressive. They want to play this one fast. You can already see Nomad taking space. Paranoia burned by PRX early to try to slow them down. Jing goes in swinging. Won't find much. And TP from Coconut. He's deep in their spawn. They are making so much pressure towards this A site. Forsaken, he doesn't crumble under that pressure to start, but finally, he will come crashing down A 4 versus 3. Res possible for PaperX, but the positions of those bodies, it doesn't make it look very likely. Happyway's got beautiful timing, but the shots don't land. Luckily, Rarga's there, picking up the pieces and leaving something alone and trapped in with the enemy. He can't even get out till that wall fades, and he will be cut down to size before that happens. Great round from Happyway after a little shaky of a start.
Yeah, like he gets the job done, but I think also the hesitation there is that he realizes how much value his position holds. He goes swinging wide, guys, they can potentially be isolated on the side. Instead, him staying alive is much more of a burden than even the individual kill that he could have got instead. And this is sort of the Happyway I wanted to see. Like, yeah, sure, still maybe a few jitters here and there, but the guy is always good at having those backstabs, always good at sort of having those multi-frag rounds. And I like the change of pace from XLG. I said so far, I feel like even in the last map, they called a decent game. Like, it didn't look like they were getting outclassed.
And the important thing there is, right, PaperX, on that A-side hold, not only do they have numbers, but they have the wall behind them, so they're not even worried about a mid-flank coming through. Everybody is focused on that choke point, and Coconut being able to go into the spawn makes that much more difficult to do. The guys on site can't just swing out wide and hold the short fight. They can't just look for the elbow duel, because they'll be shot up from spawn potentially. And you have all of these headaches created for PaperX. That very much felt like PaperX getting a taste of their own medicine.
Oh, back to a low bite. You can see how slow and methodical they're being on the other side. Forsaken has been able to take that first fight. Now the move away is somewhat to sell a ruse for something.
No man
He's going to
die.
be able to hear any of the steps as they rotate. They've still got this aggressive position from Jing. Bear in mind, he does have the showstopper available. Probably won't want to use it immediately, but no, never mind. He's going to go straight in, and the steps were faked out. That was Rarga's utility that has baited the ultimate, but now they go back towards something. Are they going to check the box?
No, something! Ilya!
Not quite connecting. Divine now, the next man up, and Happyway just thriving. The Dane just seemingly slipping out of the round. And what could have been incredibly costly ends up with still 4 players standing.
Great correction from the previous map where PaperX were finding so much value with these weaker weapons. Forsaken,
careful.
The only player that, well, he didn't have that much of a weaker weapon. He had the Guardian. Wasn't the Sheriff doing the work. And he's recovered a rifle, a chance to do more damage. Surely the round win is already lost.
I'm starting to question that.
It could be an ace, but the problem is you've got Viva deep playing with that Hunter's Fury! And Forsaken now only has that ult to deal with. He now knows where his opponent is, but the Hunter's Fury surely decides the fate of this round. It's already activated. It might seem early, but the time on the clock is already so low. Forsaken goes in, pops it, goes for the stick. He might have time. It's going to be desperately close. The spam coming in from Viva doesn't get there.
No!
2-second difference. Blink and you miss it, but that margin of error swings in XLG's favor.
So you know earlier where I said it might take a while to beat that 1v4? We almost just had it beaten, and it was 0.02 that made it not. That's absurd.
I can feel myself swallowing my own words.
But, I'll be honest with you. You doubting Forsaken in this clutch, I'm a little bit disappointed.
They have Hunter's Fury post plant in a 3v1 with the spike planted ages ago.
But Forsaken.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'd like to argue with you, but what we just saw means my point's invalid.
Oh, that was so desperately close.
0.0, that's ridiculous.
Wow.
Nice shot.
You can see the confidence right back in. Aggressive start, but this is what I'm saying. XLG have always been doing well to recover any of those early advantages that PaperX are able to gain. Jing. Expecting to be challenged. He's going to spot nothing outside the A site, and because of that, it's allowed for an immediate rotation for Forsaken to get back into B. They have definitely been read, and in fact, Jing can now just lock them in.
Smoke up, it's decently deep, but that drone, oh, it didn't see him. He's gotten inside the smoke. Forsaken!
Let's go!
Beautiful
Nice one.
from PaperX with Jing wrapping around the other side. That slipped through the smoke. It's been a problem. A couple of times you've seen that finesse from PaperX and being quick on their feet, able to get especially smokes, poison orbs, it doesn't matter what it is, but able to get that positional advantage in some of these plays. Even still, a round gap of only 1.
definitely been a different match to expected, but still those moments. Jing still performing to a high level.
5-4. Wah, seram juga ini game.
Now this one's, it's not looking great, is it?
No.
Four Sheriffs, an attack side Bucky. Makes a bit more sense when it's on the Neon. Slide in, get real close.
Oh yeah, I've seen plenty of TikToks of that sort of gameplay. We'll see if No Man has it in the locker. It might not matter. Already one going to and there you go. That's a Bucky onto Jing. This fast-paced 1-2 punch of the duelists have not only got the positioning, but it's also got them in.
Bagus banget tadi.
With that weaponry. And the bigger danger as well is, okay, sure, you had yourself the ultimates.
Let's go, nice one.
Fury might now be able to cause some damage. No Man gone, rifle dropped, drone already being sent through.
Oh my god.
Rarga.
Not hit by the drone either. He sticks around. Divide though, the one to punish him. The res available. There's a player that can be res. There it is. Patman's brought back. Even numbers. And it gets Coconut curious. He swings out looking for the duel, but now they'll go pushing into him. Viva down, and it's Happy Way against two. But he's brought it to the 1v1. 6 HP. A headshot needed.
Nice one. Nice one.
Jumping with the shorty to close this one out.
Yes.
Should have been Paper X's.
If they lost 2 rounds to time with that close, that would have been madness. But unfortunately, the ring around the rosy, the only man falling down in this case was Happy from Rog. In fact, an excellent round from him in general, making this one competitive. I feel like No Man actually walking further into that shot dart rather than away from it, but you understand the panic. A nice attempt, very low by a round, and Happy Way definitely.
I think he was doubting it as well.
Well, he has just watched the spike go off at 0.02.
Yeah.
So you can kind of understand why he's nervous, but not quite as close.
Yeah, the flashback's definitely hitting hard there.
Yeah. XLG.
6-4. XLG, they've called a timeout here on their attack side. That's their first one used, and indeed the first one of this map. It has been a pacey set of rounds. I've liked, as you've said, the direct approach. Even here, they had Sheriffs, they had a Bucky. We started out, it doesn't look too good, and it comes down to a 1v1 with
mixed it up a lot as well. I think that's what, whenever I see a team that can only like dive or only do executes, I'm like, okay, this is an average team with maybe great coaching staff, but it feels like a lot of the sort of slower rounds with mid-rounding, I've been impressed by XLG, and you take away the pistol and the follow-up, and this is an incredibly close match. The problem, though, is now they are in a case of this ends 6-6, you go into the second half, you're happy. If this ends 8-4, I think most people will have a lot of faith in the attack side of Paper X to be able to close this one out.
Well, touching base as well before we get back into the round, just on Happy Way, someone you highlighted as he had a tough, and the desk highlighted, had a tough map previously, and look at him now, 11-7. He's been there on this attack side in the previous round, almost ended up winning it out on time in the 1v3.
Oh, nice wall. Hilang ulti ya, Cok.
Teammates to break that wall open. It's going to limit how far he can get. He can barely make it to the backside. Instead, he's going to tuck in default. Hunter's Fury coming through, fired in deep from something, clearing out these close corners on the site, not finding any tags, but delaying the push.
It didn't really allow for much space to get back in either from the side of Paper X. They're waiting to move as a unit. Patman does have ult, but unless they really need this space, it's going to be tough. The Vigo's a little bit ahead. They were still setting up utility on the remaining players, and No Man has been able to take that close contact and put them into spot, and especially with Forsaken coming in on this flank, he's managed to get past the trip. That's why nobody's looking in this direction. If this smoke fades, he might just have himself at least one freebie, but he's looking for more. In fact, he's retake.
Oi.
And another
Kau streaming di mana? Nyari ya? Di YouTube. Di YouTube.
Dr. Pepper, Valorant, ada deh.
Ada ya Dr. Pepper, ada.
Play.
Nyari ada deh.
Play. Dr. Pepper, ada.
They want to block this line of sight. The timing could not have been better.
GG bodoh, per second baru clutch anjir.
For XLG, the timeout making no difference. And one round left to play with. For XLG, 7-5.
Hello, boss.
Hello, boss.
Number one.
The answer's not far.
Number one viewer.
Ibe. Dari Theo Gofert anjing.
Correcting the scoreline. Trailing by
Hello,
4.
Pak Bos.
This is where the last round really could give them a little bit.
Suara kau tak terlalu besar. Suara aku.
Masuk di YouTube besar.
If it ends 2-0, ends 2-0. They'll still be yet to win
Karena kan tak buka Discord dia.
at a VCT international event.
Suara aku lebih besar daripada suara kau, Fit.
The first one seems they might feel a little bit hard done by for that, but it won't change a thing. Already you can see some of the vulnerabilities, and more worryingly, it's that showstopper Viper's Pit on the other side. Like, there's so much to play with in this final round of the half.
Oh, the showstopper!
Whoa, anjing! Damn!
That's unbelievable! XLG put it all into this around that can correct the
Kalah
wrongs
dah.
of this half, but that has
8-4.
come falling apart. An explosive entrance into
Aku tengok telat aja reaksi.
an 8 the score of their opponents in that first half.
Ganti.
It's just absolute insanity. Like, it just came down to a lot of those contact plays and Jig managing to get it done. Nonetheless, it's a pretty big recovery. We'll see if XLG can turn it.
Seru coy nonton VCT, sumpah.
Nathan mana Nathan?
Kan lagi anak ini.
Anak apa? Anak apa?
Apa namanya? Shopee deh.
Oh. Nambah item gitu.
Tadi kami baru ngomongin ini. Profit apa?
Kau sama Nathan.
Kami ngomongin Denzel.
Oh, iya tapi Denzel emang gila sih profitnya. Itu
Satu bulan 1 M ada gede. Apa?
lebih ya, menurut aku bisa lebih. Yalah dia online-nya gila weh. Online shop dia yang di Shopee. 17.000 ya? 17.000 item. 1.700 item. Followersnya 17.000 ya.
Sehari bisa dapat 50 ya.
50 orderan elektronik sih gila.
50 order elektronik satu kali ini anggap ya cuma 1 juta.
Enggak sih, enggak sampai 1 juta kayak elektronik kalau di online cuannya. Kecuali mereka belinya yang kayak TV gila lah. Nah itu ya, cuan bisa 1 juta. Yang TV 10 juta bisa 1 juta. Tapi kalau kayak kulkas 1 juta paling untung 500, tapi lumayan lah itu. Bisa oh.
It has to be said, PRX, they should be leading in terms of the stats, 8-4 up.
Yeah, for sure. It's been one of those games where there's been a lot of crazy things, and a lot of it happened just in the last couple of rounds. If you've just joined us, you've missed a lot. I think we had a 0.02 spike exploding with almost what was an ace for Forsaken. He then decided, okay, I'm just going to stick to the 4Ks for today, come back behind and eliminate the whole opposing team in a retake. And then the next round, Jing decided to get 3 with a showstopper at the very beginning of it and end it before it even began. For XLG, this now comes down to player resilience. Like, can you turn the tide? And I'll be honest with you, Mitch, I think it starts with a pistol.
Very much so. A loss here send PRX skyrocketing into the lead. A 9-4, probably 10 on the board. And then they're already on the home stretch while XLG trail clamor their way back into the game or attempt to. I like this early play. Similar to what PRX did. 3 players, walkabouts on mid, 1 late towards A, but it's pressure on Happyway. He can't overextend and go down. Just falls back. Looks to punish anyone over and hopes that this flank can find a lot of value. But PRX look like they want to play aggressive.
But this is where the wall causes issues. You're going to block off one avenue. and then try and pressure the other. The only thing they really need to worry about is the flank, because they've sectioned everything else off, and actually, no, they're looking the wrong way, completely the wrong way. They've been foiled by their own plot, but there's still a couple of players standing. Jing, Forsaken, not in the best of positions to try and deny this, but that time is already ticking. Only somebody just getting onto the spike. They need to try and wrap back around, and that's exactly...
Oh, Forsaken! Gila tuh orang. Anjing.
Could do no wrong.
Oh, his impact has been outrageous. That pistol round was slipping through their fingers. The flank that should have been expected. When he found his 4K from main, there was at least a trap there giving them some security on the other side, but PRX had no reason to believe that that space was clear. They get caught off guard, and oh, it's just so nasty.
All I'm going to say is he's already got a bracelet on one arm. I think he's looking for a bracelet on the other. If he keeps this sort of performance up the entire tournament, I think he's going to be dual-wielding by the end. This man knows how to put up MVP performances, and well, map number 1, he always said that the agent he'd never played was Brimmy. He started playing the Brimmy, and it didn't look fantastic, but stick the man on an Omen, he's having a ball. And well, I said, it was almost imperative for XLG that they get themselves a pistol. 9-4 down, their opponent's map choice. PRX going into the attack half. And when they have shown strength on this map, that's where it's been. Solid victories on that side versus Sentinels, Fnatic, T1 more recently. And it was a defensive side defeat when they struggled versus Zeta.
Gila, 4
Everything
orang
is set for them to now take this map.
What's a good stack from XLG.
4 on A.
4 players on the B side, 2 of them with Sheriffs.
4 on B.
The other on the polar opposite of where this hit's coming through. A lot of players
Nice,
from
nice, nice,
PRX,
nice,
so
nice, nice.
covering this plant. They've got numbers even after the...
Let's go something, Ilya.
Something with a nice shot over the wall, and it looks like a lot of the danger already dealt with. No man traded out, and that's really the story of this take. Even if one player lands that first shot, PRX flooding in like this, they've got the numbers to back it up. Finally, it will be divided close, and 10-4 on the line. But this was not the round XLG were fighting for.
Rex menang nggak? Kaget. Ini kali.
Hah? 10-4 dah.
Both sides.
Udah 10-4 dah.
10-4 dah. First map mereka menang nggak tadi?
Mostly into stingers, a couple of rifles. I also think this is the point.
Terlalu jago, bro.
When it comes to Sage, like there's been critique a lot through history of this age, but one thing it gives you, especially on a map like different elevations, is sometimes you don't know the angles you're covered or not, and that's about as free as a kill as you're ever gonna get. Because let's be real, there aren't that many teams that play with the Sage. Okay, very aggressive early start to the round, but it is No Man. Been impressed so far with him on the Neon, and he started off strong again.
Kenapa tak di Twitch, Sheffield?
Aku belum pernah bikin Twitch sih. Aku YouTube masih awal, gampang. Nanti tinggal pindah ke Twitch.
Subscriber. Oke, aku subscribe.
Aku belum pernah bikin akun Twitch kayak. Coba cek.
Video Valorant Clips 2 tahun yang lalu.
Nah, udah lama dah aku. Ini akun
11 kali dinonton.
Ada dah ya akun Twitch account-nya. Oh, ada anjir.
Oh! That's unlucky. That's a wonderful punish. What is going on?
Anjay.
No man that gets punished. Something's got three. And I think Devi is about to go down.
Dapai mati. Dapai mati. Oke, ada hidup. Oh, Ilya ace.
An ace from something. An XLG from 1 foot in the grave to very deep.
Apa yang kau chat ni? Hime number 1 viewer apa gitu?
I need to see the POV on the first 2 kills because I feel like
there were 2 players in Nova.
I don't really understand how they got out alive. Oh, they just isolated.
Klip apa? Udah lama dah itu klipnya. Aku tak ingat aku taruh klip apa.
It's incredibly clean though. An absolute headshot machine throughout the round, and I don't even know if he reloaded in the middle of all.
Dulu aku live banyak. Dulu aku live banyak sekali.
One of them, you felt like to take the first ace of the tournament, and something will be there. Mentioned maybe looking for another bracelet. Maybe he's looking for.
Oh, ini CJ anjing. Anjir itu berapa tahun lalu? 3 tahun.
11-4.
Wah, Pak dia.
And a timeout for XLG.
Kau masukin klip orang kan itu?
At these last few rounds, it
Masukin ya?
hasn't felt like the round 14. You're talking about your
Masih banyak weh klip aku yang belum ku edit.
Fit apa fit? Forsaken clutches it out. Round 15, you probably should have won, but
Itu kumpulan lama sekali. Masih ada sampai sekarang klipnya.
Kau masih pakai bahasa Jepang ada?
Iya, itu dulu aku bahasa Jepang. Nah, sekarang mana ada?
You retired as a coach in 2020. Was it 2021?
Dulu tuh aku nge-stream sama Willy. Jadi banyak
Maybe
dulu.
when Alliance come back, you'll get another job.
I think that's the only way. Well, I'm happy where I'm at for now.
Aku waktu itu coba nge-stream Valo open cam, bapak dia nge-frame aku. Tak jadi open cam langsung.
11 rounds on the board.
FPS 50 ya, main apa anjing Valo gitu.
Sekarang kan lebih oke.
Iya, aku udah coba kemarin. FPS aku 50-60 ya. Tak bisa. Takut aku. Tapi kalau sambil stream aman, lancar. Kalau open cam tambah open cam lag.
That's a pretty hefty upgrade for No Man as well.
Given the coconut.
Willing to
risk it. Also,
Forsaken's been caught
Apa?
TPing. This has put them in a good spot. Bear in mind there's spike plant here for
Kemi? Todo sama KB, nge-stream gitu tiba-tiba populer.
Iya Ji, Todo sama KB ya Ji.
Tapi ke Jepang apa?
Kalau KB sih emang jago sih.
Ya Kemi kan udah radian anjing.
Todo sih punya line up aku tak usah akal Todo.
Tapi kalau kau tak jago apa masa kau streaming belum pede?
Iya kan? Let's go, udah pai. Tak apa, sambil nge-stream walaupun cupu tak apa ya.
Jadi Joseki ya.
Iya, Joseki kan dia enggak gimana jago tapi dia interaktif sama viewer ya.
Ini bagus. Mainnya hebat.
Mainnya hebat. Gimana apa?
Oh. Does the baby catch it? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was.
That is a nervous smile if ever I've seen one.
Like ace like 2 rounds ago.
Yeah.
Well, here's
and it's popped 100 here immediately.
It's an early.
Anjay, Rarga mati. Alamak, mati. For second pack 10.
Numbers light on the A site. No Man's the last point of defense, so he'll fall back.
Oh, coba bikin Twitch
Won't
kan.
continue the aggression. While the rotate had come through. Viva, who started over here towards A, went back to take that kill and spawn. Drones out mid, clears it, and they're comfortable now. There's no more pressure on A with that deep control coming in from No Man. There's nothing on mid. They weren't looking. They weren't walkabouts. So the B sites where the hit should be coming through. They'll keep in 2-2.
3v4.
But Happy Way and Coconut, they're the ones that have a chance to keep their team in it here and now.
Cage immediately used. Going through all of this utility. Feels like a little bit of a risk. Paranoia even being thrown through as well. So they're going to know that there's a couple of players here at least. Curious to see if PRX still opt to actually execute in this direction. They're throwing in more utility. Boombot to click close.
35 seconds. Now we're limited on options. We gotta go, but the spams through the smoke. They'll take down Divine in the choke point. Shock dart's fantastic, and the swings are even better. XLG with a round win. Still trailing by 7. They gotta take this comeback one step at a time.
That's a good round from them. Something to note as well is it really does feel like the Sage wall, how far you can get it now, actually makes things really interesting, because Divine put that wall in from inside main. Like, he was just like, I might as well give it a go, just try and give us a little bit of extra space, but it feels like it goes incredibly far. I don't mind the buff though, because I feel like a lot of the aspects of what people using this were before were basically boosting themselves up. Brings a slight bit of tactical element to it. While weak by, but potentially a much faster one. I like
12-5.
Great trip positioning indeed. It's a little
Oh, what the fuck?
Jing hit that. Happy way
Anjing. Jing flick.
But he's got backup now.
Jing flick ulti race anjir. Oke, Jing mau ace, Jing mau ace. Jing mau ace.
Jing's already got 3.
He's still going.
Coconut's being watched on the
No.
Jing looks for his 4th. He won't
Ah,
find
GG.
it, but they'll
GG.
clean up anyways. 13-5.
13-4.
PRX
Gila.
looking lights out on the second map as they claim their win to open up champions here in
Hah?
Paris.
Aku bosan.
The fact is, you can see that individual form, especially on their own map choice.
Ya aku pikir apa ya perlu kau kan ya? Aku main game, ya udahlah, nge-stream lah.
Towards the end of it. And in map number 1, seeing both Jing and Something still performing to that degree. I will say though, I feel like there are silver linings for XLG. Map number 1 especially, I think they definitely look like they could compete, but for a couple of clutches here and there, and who knows, I think going into that lower bracket match, there's going to be more opportunities, because not everybody plays as manic and as crazy as a PRX does. Nonetheless, it is the expected result. We're one of our top-seeded teams coming into the tournament. 2-0 victory.
Mari kita main.
Well, I don't think anybody